The magical network of portals has collapsed. Your people are cast asunder beyond the frontiers of your reality. Realms alive with monstrous beasts, eldritch creatures and dangers of which you cannot conceive.
Welcome, Realmwalkers, to the Day in the Life review of Nightingale. For these kinds of reviews, I play a game for 24 hours and interact with all of the major parts, or at least as many as I can depending on requirements for later content, and give my initial impressions. Usually these are followed by a week in the life or complete reviews, but Nightingale will not be getting one of those, at least yet, and you'll find out why in this review. Nightingale is developed and published by Inflexion Games. It is available only on PC, at least during the early access period, and Realmwalkers can start their own journey to Nightingale either through Steam or Epic Games. I played through Steam, and the Steam description reads, "Set out on a journey of survival and adventure into the mysterious and dangerous Fey realms of Nightingale. Become an intrepid Realmwalker and venture forth alone or with friends as you explore, craft, build, and fight across a visually stunning gaslamp fantasy world." This carries the tags in Steam of open world survival craft, multiplayer, and early access. And we'll be coming back to that early access later in the review. Welcome to Nightingale. Begin by selecting the basics. Choosing my body type, default appearance, then archetypes. So is this going to be more like Hogwarts, where we don't have a bunch of sliders and we just have a bunch of presets, I take? Like most every survival game, Realmwalkers start out by creating a character. They first select an appearance from a list of presets called archetypes, and then age, and then a voice. After what Nightingale calls the basics, Realmwalkers then create their ancestry through selecting a family backstory, basically what kind of trade the family is known for, then selecting a lineage consisting of 8 great-grandparents, 4 grandparents, and 2 parents. Then the Realmwalkers get to modify their appearance archetype based off the lineage chosen to create a more personalized look. But the character creator is not done yet. After the above, making up step 1 in the character creation process, step 2 consists of further modifying appearance through skin tone, scars, tattoos, hair color, hairstyles, facial hair, further modifying various aspects of the head, eyes, mouth. Of note here, never before have I personally seen decay and crookedness as options, and makeup, to name a majority of them. Finally, in step 3, Realmwalkers pick difficulty via picking a starting loadout and starting realm difficulty. The loadout is starting equipment and determines how much a Realmwalker will start their journey with, easy giving much more than hard. This also plays into backstory, as they are described as the family having various levels of preparedness for the calamity. The starting realm is only described through realm power. The higher the number, the harder things will be in that realm. Then Realmwalkers pick a name and are released from this arduous process into a cutscene.
Before time itself, the realms have existed. Born of curiosity, we opened the first gateway to our endless Feywilds. The Fey have long since aided man in harnessing that which we live and breathe, magic. Tolerance was known until your grasp extended reach. Greed, in the face of power, saw your world caught in ruin. And out flowed the Pale, swallowing all in its path. Some fled its ever-spreading tongue, seeking refuge in Nightingale. only to be severed from assistance as the pathway between realms collapsed. But perhaps not all is lost. For Nightingale still stands, pushing forward towards progress and enlightenment, humanity's final beacon. Your path thither is winding and full of terror's nascent Realmwalker. Wilt thou succumb to fey lands beyond thy wit? Or wilt thou endure, find the way homeward and rebuild anew?
As just experienced, this cutscene sets up the basic premise of Nightingale. A calamity has befallen humanity, and Realmwalkers must find their way through the Feywilds to the last bastion of hope, the city of Nightingale. After the cutscene, Realmwalkers get control of their journey and are hearkened by a mysterious voice that soon reveals itself as Puck, the last of the Fey, and also the only actually voice-acted character in Nightingale thus far. Puck provides the first realm cards for Realmwalkers to use to enter the Forest Byway realm. Here, after some more exposition from Puck, Realmwalkers will learn the basics of gathering and crafting. After gathering some basic materials and crafting a campfire to cook some berries, Realmwalkers will get their first glance of a major aspect of the tutorial: text dumps. These can be short-ish or really long and provide more and advanced information on whatever basic thing they just did. Then Puck arrives to provide the cards to the next part of the tutorial after some more exposition. Once in the Desert Byway realm, Puck gives some more exposition and Realmwalkers learn about exhaustion, crafting basic shelter, and the bedroll to sleep. Once this is accomplished, there is another text dump that explains how the quality of shelter and amenities such as warmth, dryness, and light can help to give or increase buffs for Realmwalkers for eating, sleeping, and crafting. After that comes the task of surviving in the desert heat to gather materials and craft the basic tools: the axe, the pick, the hunting knife, the sickle, and the torch. Realmwalkers are once again confronted by another text dump before Puck arrives to provide the cards to the next tutorial byway and the third biome available in the game: the swamp. In this third tutorial area, Realmwalkers learn the basics of combat and hunting. Hunting can provide more materials for crafting and cooking, aiding in making survival in the Feywilds a little easier than having to look for edible plants all the time. Combat is pretty basic at the moment, primarily ranged and melee combat. Depending on the weapon or tool, Realmwalkers will have access to a dodge or the ability to block or aim the ranged weapon. There is magic in the game as well, but yours truly did not get to experience this before this review. Then Puck arrives to provide both more exposition and the realm cards to an abeyance realm, or what will be your home base realm. Realmwalkers get to choose this biome from one of the three already experienced: the swamp, the forest, or the desert. Before getting to travel through the Fey portal to this realm of respite, though, Realmwalkers will have to fight off a few waves of the Bound, the monsters that were the cause of the calamity that befell humanity, as the portal opens. Once in the Advanced Realm and greeted with more exposition from Puck, who directs Realmwalkers to create an estate and make a basic home. Once this has been accomplished, Puck arrives once again with more exposition and explains the basics of realm cards and realm walking. Then, another text dump about essence traders. In the Advanced Realm, Realmwalkers will learn about essence traders, essence, crafting recipes, side quests, companions, building more advanced structures, crafting stations and tables, and gear score. This is done through a little direction from Puck at the start, having to figure out a few simple things along the way, and multiple large text dumps. The last of which I personally started skipping 6 pages in, and I skipped several more pages before it was done. The main focus of Nightingale from this point forward for Realmwalkers is increasing their gear score through gathering materials and crafting better weapons, tools, and clothing. Once a certain milestone of gear score is reached, Realmwalkers may enter sites of power, which involve fighting through some waves of the bound to unlock more realm card recipes. These recipes will allow Realmwalkers to travel to other realms of varying levels of difficulty, which contain higher tiers of essence that will allow Realmwalkers to upgrade their gear and increase their gear score so they can go into even higher level realms to get even higher tiers of essences to further upgrade their gear, so on and so forth.
Realmwalker, your path forward is winding and full of terrors. Save yourself. Survive the realms. And rebuild all that has been lost.
Okay, I know what you were thinking a few minutes into that. Moorcat, sum it up for us. No BS answers. Is it good? Do you recommend it? Well, in short, no. Nightingale is a game that I have been watching for a few years with great anticipation. Some buddies got me into Ark Survival Evolved more than a few years ago, and I have gotten to play some truly great games, a lot of games with varying levels of potential, and some truly just plain bad games. Nightingale is a game I wanted to be great. I wanted it to hit the ground running and to take off. I've been enchanted with the whole idea of being able to shape the realms I go to with realm cards and the whole Gaslamp fantasy style ever since I first came across Nightingale. Sadly though, Nightingale doesn't do much mechanically to match its fantastical style. The game seems to be a quest-driven tutorial for the most part. Even when you're set free to roam in your Abeyance realm, you're still not out of the tutorial. I have traveled to the Provisioner realm, which is a higher level realm, and still not have unlocked the ability to head into the Herbarium realm to continue on. These segments of quest tutorial are broken up by gear score grind, and the next step being gated by having to grind essences. Essences are found by exploring realms and completing various activities in them to be awarded with the realm's respected tier of essence. There is no variance between these activities between biomes and higher level realms. The number of these activities may vary, but not what you do. It's very, very samey. Here's the basic loop. You come into a realm and you find the Fade Tower, which is already marked on your map. Don't explore aimlessly. The Fade Tower will have a few levels to it, and on each level you will fight a wave of the Bound. At the top you will fight more enemies or a boss and be awarded with essence, loot, and every single POI in that realm will now be marked on your map. Then go around and complete all of the POIs for essences and loot, hit up the essence trader to grab new crafting recipes, gather any resources you may desire, and then warp back to your estate. Use the essences to upgrade your gear to increase your gear score and craft any infusions you wish to enchant your gear with, and then rinse, wash, repeat. That's it. That's all there is to this game that I have discovered in 26 hours of gameplay. Nothing about Nightingale other than the concept of shaping new realms with realm cards and its art design that stands out. There's nothing about the moment-to-moment gameplay or the overall gameplay loop that sets itself apart from any other survival game. It has moving from stone to metal, hide and leather to clothes and armor, and the same white, green, blue, purple, etc. gear tiers of every other survival game. Nightingale is stepping onto the survival genre landscape with so many other competitors that are doing so much more to stand apart from the crowd. And the worst part is, it's not even complete, per the early access advisory. The parts I'm referencing in there are, we currently predict that Nightingale will be in early access for 9 to 12 months. However, we don't want to stick a date and underdeliver on the experience. And we anticipate that Nightingale will evolve and expand significantly throughout early access, including the addition of more story content, new realm biomes to explore, as well as the introduction of the fabled city of Nightingale itself. Other things that you can point to that would further demonstrate this incomplete or unfinished quality to Nightingale would, and I'm not trying to nitpick here, so just bear with me, but let's touch back on the lineage and the backstory that are selected, whether you're a statesperson, whether you're a tradesperson, a vagrant, you know, those 8 great-grandparents, those 4 grandparents, and those 2 parents. Outside of fluff, when you're picking difficulty and how prepared you are in your starting loadout, there doesn't really seem to be any other kind of affect. It's a feature that Inflexion seemed to want to include, but didn't exactly know how to incorporate it, and, well, it just comes off as sort of tacked on. Another thing that seems really tacked on is the text dumps in the tutorials. It seems like Inflexion wanted to get all of that information in there in a tutorial, but they didn't plan or couldn't come up with a more organic way for players to experience that. And with how contextual some other parts of the game are, I can't believe there wasn't a more organic way to have players learn about things like the weather and the amenities, comfort levels, without just having to dump a bunch of text on them, or just to touch on the menu a little bit, or to have them go into a somewhat convoluted, don't know how else to say it, UI, where you have a how to play section, a glossary section, and a codex. It seems as if it's just Mass Effect's main menu, pause menu rather, just repurposed for Nightingale. It seems that there are parts there that they have a purpose, they have an intent for, but didn't exactly know how to make it come across to the player in a more intuitive way, or a more simple way. It just makes more work on the player. Something else that makes more work on the player is the crafting and resource management system. You have multiple kinds of hide, multiple kinds of fiber, multiple kinds of wood. And I'm not just talking about sticks as opposed to wood bundles, but you have softwood wood bundles. You have regular wood bundles. You have prey hide. You have predator hide. And when you convert these into leather, they will make their own separate leather. It's not just, oh, hey, I have this piece of leather now. It's predator leather or prey leather. You have predator bones and prey bones, and then you also have other unique bones like waywolf bones. Now, this wouldn't be so bad if I had one predator bone and one prey bone and I could combine them into a crafting recipe that required 2 bones. No, I have to have 2 predator bones or 2 prey bones. And these also take up separate inventory slots. Now, the weight, they weigh the same, so that's kind of to be expected, but now they take up 2 out of my inventory slots as opposed to just 1. And this happens in storage as well. Now, I'm the kind of person that I like base management. I am the survival genre and is what is known as a base bitch. And I'm sorry for the language, but I like designing a base, an area, a living space with a flow to it. I like organizing the inventory so that things are organized for easier reference and easier access. I like having to maintain the structures to make sure that they're pristine, or that we're upgrading them to make sure that we're having the best defenses that we could, say against zombies or dinosaurs or the Bound. But in Nightingale, it's all just too arduous. Even having to repair something, you have to sit there and plink away. Dink, 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 19 out of 350. Just dink, 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 dink. I like managing a base. I like that kind of gameplay. And it's just too arduous in Nightingale. It's too complicated. Between first and third person combat, there is hit registration issues. I can put my cursor right on an opponent with my sling bow, and I can hit them every time that the cursor's on them, and when I'm in first person. Now, when I'm in third person, I have to aim a little to the left or a little to the right, and I still might not hit them. Also, in third person, when shooting the bow sling from the hip, there are issues where I see the projectile pass right through the enemy, a boar or a wolf. And even when I got into the firearm age and I was using the 4-shot starter pistol, there would be times where the bullet would fly through a plant that I could harvest for fiber, and it would hit the wolf or the boar or the bound. And then there were times that plant would intercept the bullet and it would hit the plant and not pass through. These kind of inconsistencies also carry over into melee combat, especially when you bring verticality into the subject. When fighting on stairs, at least an update or two ago, at any time I was below my opponent or above my opponent, my attacks would seemingly pass right through them. I would see the pick or the axe pass right through the bound model, but they wouldn't take a hit. I had to seemingly be on almost even level with them for my attacks to all the time register a hit. Now, even when fighting above or below my opponent, there would be times that my attacks would register hits, but it was very inconsistent. At its core, it's very solid. You have variant attacks on your light attacks. You don't have a power attack, but that's not an issue because you have enemy weak and critical points that allow you to do much more damage, and well, that sort of takes the place of your power attacks from something like 7 Days to Die. You also have a dodge on certain melee attacks, and you have the ability to block with weapons that require you to use two hands like the axe or the pick. This is very good at its core. It's just around the edges it's still a bit rough. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not just trying to sit here and knock on Nightingale and give it no compliments. It's got really good rare gems in it as well. Just as an example, exploration. Well, this is later undone by the Fey Towers in the realms, but at least in the tutorials, exploration was highly rewarded. In the swamp biome, there are 2 towers that you're not directed to go anywhere near, and you're not given any kind of objective that takes you there. You're not given any kind of reason to go there. But if you do, you'll find multiple chests with infusions and other equipment and higher level resources. You can find plenty of ingots around these 2 towers. And that can make things really simple, or at least a few things, a lot quicker when you get to your abeyance realm. That was really nice to have my exploration and curiosity rewarded. Now again, this is later undone by the Fey Towers in the realms, because again, you don't want to explore aimlessly, you want to hit those up and get all the POIs revealed. But at least in the tutorial, exploration was rewarded, and it felt really good. Something that I found while exploring these 2 towers was the umbrella. Now, the umbrella acts as a sort of glider or parachute for the Realmwalker, and I really like this. You know, it's nice to have the ability to, oh hey, I fell off something, let me catch myself and, you know, maybe not die. It's wonderful to have that kind of safety net in a survival game. And the umbrella also keeps you dry when it's raining, and if it's hailing, you put the umbrella up and it keeps you from taking health damage from the hail, although its durability still will get whittled down. But it was really nice to discover that. It was a very nice aesthetic quality. I can't think of one other game where I've ever had a tool function like that before. Like, I actually have an umbrella function as an umbrella. It was just really nice. To sum up Nightingale in a statement, it isn't ready. I do not recommend Nightingale, at least at this time. I will keep tabs on it through early access though, And you guys may even see a stream or two from time to time checking back in on it after there's been some updates or some additions to the game. But a solid no as it is now. I will say if you were to play more than I did, and if you were to do everything available in Nightingale right now, you would get excellent playtime value out of it, easily getting more than 1 hour per dollar spent on the game. But again, I do not recommend. And I'm kind of sad to give that recommendation on this one. Thank you all for your time and watching my A Day in the Life review of Nightingale. I hope you found my initial impressions valuable. Please leave me some feedback on this review down in the comments below. Have you played Nightingale? Are you going to continue to play Nightingale? How long have you played for? What do you think of it? Drop a like and share around for me. Drop a like and share around for me to help others find this review, and of course subscribe for more A Day in the Life reviews. But in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.